Hello to all my friends out there. So I'm suffering. What I'm doing is I'm feng shuiing my entire dwelling, including the balcony. I did it years ago and it was really nice, but I've always been too busy to do it since. So that's what I'm doing now that I'm retired. And so in order to feng shui a dwelling, you have to spotlessly clean your dwelling, which is not easy to do if you've been living in it some time. And then you have to get rid of everything chipped, broken, soiled, or damaged. That's my entire apartment. So I have my work cut out for me. And so I will make a cheap meal after I get the kitchen pretty much done up. Okay, now this video is 7 items to stockpile because you probably won't get it at the food bank. You will notice a lot of times when people do videos what I got at the food bank, no fruit. So what you want to do is buy 6 cans, the big cans. I don't have a fruit can out, but the cans this size, you want 6. That is going to give you, those are about 6 servings. That will cost you $5. 6 servings of fruit, and get all different kinds so that if you start running low on food, you'll have some fruit. And you don't have to get all 5 cans the first month. Get 2 cans because a person is likely to run out of food 2 times if you get paid twice a month, and if you get paid once a month, 1 time. So if you have 2 cans, that can protect you a little bit from running out of fruit. Stockpile vegetables. Sometimes they give you like 1 can of vegetables, and I was trying to help this woman, and she said what she ran out of was fruit, vegetables, and bread. So you don't want to run out of that. That's why I have these videos. Stockpile pancake mix, stockpile pancake mix, stockpile bread, because you're not going to get much at the food bank. And so so I've been doing the stockpiling, and I used to say buy corn, green beans, and mixed vegetables, but I have changed that around. Try to find these big cans of potatoes because you don't want to really run out of potatoes. And some of the terrible famines in history were potato famines. So, it's going to be, we take it for granted. We can go buy potatoes. Well, I bought these at 99¢ only, and serving size. So they say this many potatoes would only be 2 serving sizes. I guess it depends how much potatoes you're making, but you can fry these. One thing about this is good. You can scramble eggs, chorizo, and then you can cut up these potatoes, or you can make potato soup, or you can make mashed potatoes. The other thing is green beans. Okay, I always stockpile green beans, but I never thought about green beans counteracting being really hungry. But if you have bacon-ins and green beans, salt and pepper, and cornbread, you can survive for a day or 2. And then this one I started stockpiling because of Jan from New York City Saves Money. If you have this and you have this, you can make yourself some pea soup or some beans. So I never used to, the pea soup idea is a really good idea. And then the other ones that is good is lima beans. And you know what? You go to the store, you can't get these really cheap. I bought these some point, after some looking for them. So try to stockpile a few of these same things if you have some ham or some, just a note, if you have some bacon grease, salt, pepper, and sugar in these 2, and some cornbread, you can get by. So, stockpile vegetables. Any kind, frozen, any kind. The cans, though, are going to last up for a year or 2. So maybe you don't need them this month, maybe you need them next month. Bread. You don't want to be running out of bread. You want to stockpile. Oh, and I had, notice how many bread items I have on here. Biscuits and cornbread, because you can have cornbread, well, I'll say biscuits and you know, some cornbread with your beans. So any kind of bread, but what I would suggest is have your items on hand. Let me show you something. To make bread, always have food available to make bread. If you can make bread, you can pretty much make pancakes and waffles. It's cheaper. My poor refrigerator is so damn packed. Okay, what I buy is I buy these big packages of yeast, and this is going to make tons of bread. So you need flour, sugar, because you need a little sugar or honey to raise your bread, salt and flour, and you can make bread. And then if you stockpile soda and baking powder, you can make pancakes. If you have bread, you can make French toast. Okay, milk. I don't see them giving much milk out at the food bank. I would stockpile, what I stockpile is evaporated milk and powdered milk. It's going to be pretty damn miserable if you don't have any milk. And a lot of times some of these food shortages could be avoided by carefully shopping. 5, cheese. Now cheese is something that I do see them disperse in commodities, but not always at the food banks. What I do, I located the cheapest sliced cheese I could at Food for Less. It was 16 slices for $1 and it melts, so that one's pretty good. Velveeta cheese is probably best because you can make macaroni and cheese. You can make a grilled cheese sandwich. So 1 or 2 Velveeta cheese would help. But what I do is I wait for the cheese to be marked down and then I stock my Okay, eggs. Make sure you're going to have enough eggs for the month or every 2 weeks, because if you have eggs and you have bread and you have milk and you have fruit and you have vegetables, you can survive. You have green beans, you know, you can have some biscuits. See where I'm going with this? And if you carefully shop around, you can find eggs pretty cheap. Not every place is like having all these close by where you can, you know, they have these items that are really cheap at Aldi's. They have soup, they have bread, let's see, they have hot dogs very cheap. You know, if you carefully shop at Aldi's, you can find eggs cheap. Okay, now this is a biggie. These items here, if you were lucky, you might get these at the food bank. Why are these important? Because you can put like a tablespoon in your beans or your green beans or your food to create a little oil if you don't have any meat, so you won't be getting malnutrition. Salt, pepper, and sugar. You know, save your bacon drippings, save your shortening drippings, you know, if you're kind of broke, so that you can put it in your green beans. Lard is probably the cheapest, and make sure you have a couple. It's bad to run out of margarine, because then you can't have any toast with butter. If you have fruit, you can make pancakes with cooked fruit and margarine and maybe some eggs. So can you see how important it would be to stockpile these items? And then if you go to the food bank, then you know you're going to be better off. I mean, the food they give you is better than nothing. It's better than nothing. But it's not, you know, 2 cans of soup, a can of meal, a box of macaroni and cheese, a can of tuna would be so much better if you had bread. Macaroni and cheese with no margarine, that is not going to be easy. How about no milk? So here are the 7 items that just stockpile up little by little by little. You know, you can start out, if you can't afford shortening lard and oil, start out with margarine, because you can use those. If you don't have much money, get that Dollar Tree cheese and Dollar Tree eggs and Dollar Tree shelf-stable milk and Dollar Tree bread, and get your vegetables at Aldi's or Walmart, and shop around for those big cans of fruit. Get 5 at Dollar Tree. Okay, back to my torture. Like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.